It's Saturday, May 9th, and I'm coming to you today with a special Mother's Day edition of the vlog, or now they're going to be known as TC TED Talks for as long as they become. But this is going to be 5 tips for raising children, animals, or just generally dealing with other human beings. There's going to be 4 suggestions of what to do and 1 controversial recommendation on what absolutely not to do with kids, animals, or other human beings. So let's dive in. I am by no stretch of the imagination an expert on parenting or child rearing, but that being said, on my journey as a parent, I have gleaned a few life tidbits that have helped me in all aspects of my life that I would like to share with you guys today. These tidbits can be kept in your back pocket if during your lifetime you directly, indirectly, or tangentially will interact with a tiny human. There's one disclaimer and sort of spooky coincidence. I wrote these tidbits down upon a direct kind of inspiration from the universe. When I began reviewing them and preparing for this vlog, I realized that these tips fairly directly coincide to our company values. So I will highlight those as they overlap as we go along. So tip number 1, be happy to see them. Show up with a good attitude, right? This tip is brought to you by a Oprah podcast with Toni Morrison, and a shout out to my favorite article also followed up with by Brene Brown. But in this podcast, Toni Morrison explained that our daily tactical concerns can send messages to those around us that are mixed messages to those around us, because when they are looking to us for positivity and optimism and to be a source of happiness and strength, often what we tend to do as parents or spouses is believe that our love is so deep and so clear that when we see the person we love, we actually first interact with them with judgment or criticism. Are you wearing that to the party? Are you wearing that jacket? Are you going to do your hair like that? Are you going to shower? You get the point, right? But we're so consumed with those that, you know, every time our loved one sees us, they're kind of like waiting for, okay, what's next? What's it going to be now, right? What's wrong with me now? So when I heard that take on it really changed the course of my life, because I realized when I buzz out of the office early, I'm taking calls in the car. I'm thinking about, what am I going to cook for dinner? What am I going to do with the laundry and cleaning? And I arrive at my son's school and he's merrily chit-chatting with his friends, or, you know, zipping up his backpack, taking his time through life. I'm like, can't you go any faster? We got to get home. We got to do all these really mundane things that are super serious in my brain, right? So, and then the first thing when he would see me when I was in that mood was irritation, annoyance, or even just sheer exhaustion at the end of the day. So after listening to the podcast, I changed my patterns, and every time I went to see him, and still to this day, when I first see him, I make sure that on my face is a look of love and excitement to see him. And that immediately changed the result. And I could actually tell in his face, not only did he feel love, but he feels a sense of relief that I'm not there stressed out or criticizing. And I believe that applies to any human or loved one or animal in your life. If you start greeting them with happiness, and this applies for clients, prospective clients, client meetings, demos, each other, one-on-ones, L10s, company meetings. If you spread this love, I believe you will reap it back 10 times more when you implement that tip. Tip number 2, grow when they push your buttons. This is hard to believe, but there may come a time in your life when a small child bites you or hits you, and your primal brain will want to hit or bite them back. Now, from where you're studying, you may say, that will never ever be me. But listen up, TikTok stars. I am here to tell you, because it could happen to you. It is real. All humans and creatures have things in their life that push their buttons, because we are put here on earth to evolve, to become better. So the question is, when you're presented with an opportunity, do you choose to double down on what you believe to be right based on your lifetime or experiences, or do you take this information and challenge and grow from it? one example I have from this is when my son was 3 to 4 years old, and he would throw these tantrums. And as you can guess, I did not take kindly to this stage of development. And I would, ignore him, or I would tell him, throw some dirt on it, you're okay, right? And none of this obviously was not effective, and it did not make me feel like a good parent or the human being that I wanted to be. So I researched on the internet, I talked to people, I read books, and I ultimately settled on this approach for this situation that really focused around physical presence and just awareness. And so when he would start with a tantrum, I would just go sit by him. And at first it was very difficult for me and disorienting because it was against what I wanted to do, which was get over it, be positive, be tough, right? But when I would just sit with him and I wouldn't be angry and I wouldn't try to engage or best him or tell him what to do, it was often just a couple minutes that he would calm down, and then would usually crawl into my arms and start crying because he was relieved that the overwhelming emotions that had caused the tantrum to start in the first place had passed. Now, this approach was specifically unique to me and him in that situation, but the point is universal. In those moments, I did not want to change what I was doing or what I believed was the right thing to teach him. But the tricky thing with this is that these beliefs about what you think are right or how the world should operate are so deep in your brain that you aren't consciously doing it, which is why you really have to reflect and see why these things are happening. And I believe when there's someone in your life, someone, a person or creature that you love so much, what happens is there's a slight pinprick in these very heavy, blanketed sets of beliefs that we surround ourselves in. And when we see that pinprick, we have a chance to grow, to challenge ourselves, to become better. And through that experience and many others, a piece of my mind and heart opened, and that ability to be still, attentive, and non-reactive not only helped me be a better human, but a better parent. And known or unknown to many of you, it has helped during similar adult tantrums that some of you may or may not have had. So we are going to pause here and we'll resume with the rest of the tips in the next vlog. Thank you.